Goofy and Pluto.
Yeah, we didn't know they were here.
Here come Goofy and Pluto again, and here comes the number one duck of all, Donald Duck. Donald Duck is now in his way.
Jesse, come here!
Excuse us real quick, folks. All right, everyone, give a big round of applause for Donald Duck!
And now, here's Donald Duck's beauty lovebird, Daisy Duck.
This is where we saw Minnie and the mice one time, wasn't it?
Actually, it's Winnie the Pooh.
Oh.
You're traveling on Simba 1 today, and this is a photo adventure. We encourage you to take as many pictures and videos as you'd like. Just make sure your equipment's set on a sports or action setting, because we're going to be moving pretty quickly out there today. And then hold on tightly to that equipment, because if anything should accidentally fall overboard, sadly, we'll be unable to retrieve it. Please remain seated at all times throughout our journey. We're going to be going through some pretty rough and rugged terrain, and we might experience sudden stops and jolts along our safari adventure. And please keep those hands and arms inside the vehicle. Those bushes have some pretty long thorns on them, and we don't want anybody getting poked out there today. Located right above your heads there is a game spotting guide to help us identify the wildlife that we might see out there. You don't always see all of them, but we usually have pretty good luck. In fact, over the years, the animals have become less afraid of humans, which is great for us. I'll come up next to the vehicle. But a lot of their natural markings help them blend into their surroundings, keeping them well camouflaged, and they can be difficult to spot, so we'll keep our eyes peeled. Now, our adventure today is going to take us through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, which was established in 1971. Covers about 800 square miles worth of bush country. It's an awful lot of area to cover, so our adventures are going to take us through many different environments, all kinds of landscapes where we can see a wide variety of animals. We're going to begin our journey here at Aturi Forest, where if we look up on the side of the hill, all these gray antelope are greater kudu. Now those are female greater kudu. We can tell because they don't have any horns. Only the males of the species carry horns. And on the opposite side, off into the distance, next to that bamboo, there's a couple of okapi. Don't let the striping pattern on the hind legs of the okapi mislead you. They're actually the only known relative of the giraffe family. A shy and reclusive animal, the okapi weren't discovered by the Western world until about 1901. Well, we're going to circle right on around the old watering hole. It's an important gathering place for many of the animals here in the reserve. And it's usually our best opportunity to spot those rare and endangered species, like the big, powerful black rhinoceros. Black rhinoceros have a hide over 1 inch thick. They can charge at speeds of over 35 miles an hour, and they can repel any predator except for man. Unfortunately, the black rhinoceros have been hit hard by the poaching. There's less than 5,000 black rhinos left in the wilds of Africa today. Back there. So we're pretty lucky to see this beautiful creature. On the opposite side of the top of the hill, those orange antelope with the white stripes are bongo. I always feel such a sense of awe and wonder when we've discovered the ghosts of the forest. Well, we're going to make our way down to Safe River and see if we can spot some Nile hippopotamus. Even if we don't see any Nile hippopotamus, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not there. See, the Nile hippopotamus spend a good majority of their days submerged under the water, keeping those big bodies of theirs from really overheating. And when hippos are submerged, they can hold their breath about 5 to 8 minutes at a time.
There they are.
There they are.
There's some hippos. Hopefully, reminds me of the one
Down on
from
the island are
Fantasia.
Kingback pelicans. Kingback pelicans have feathers on their back to get a pinkish hue to them during mating season.
There's another hippo.
I know, there's a lot of them. There's a bunch in there today.
The Nile hippopotamus are what's known as neutrally buoyant. They kind of just walk along the river bottom, gliding through the water with the greatest of ease. The Nile hippopotamus are nocturnal creatures, so they sleep most of the day. But they'll venture out of the river in the evening times and use those big broad lips of theirs to keep the grass growing along the riverbank's edge. They can eat about 100 pounds of vegetation per night.
Are those vultures, Kyle? Buzzards?
And just up ahead, there's a rickety old bridge. And underneath that rickety old bridge is a basket of Nile crocodiles. The Nile crocodiles are so large and aggressive that they can eat prey nearly twice their
Right here,
size.
look at them.
They feast on food like white-bearded wildebeest and zebras.
Another Fantasia
They'll open up their
animal.
mouths and clamp down shut with a jaw closing pressure of 1,200 pounds per square inch. So when those big guys grab onto something, boy, I'll tell you what, they just don't let go. Well, we're about to leave the Turi Forest and we're going to head off into the savannah. It's a completely different ecosystem with completely different animals. And speaking of completely different, I want you to check out this ancient baobab tree. The ancient baobab tree has a nickname. The locals call it the upside down tree because its branches look like roots sticking up into the sky. Well, hold on to your safari hats, my friends, because coming up is the best view in the entire reserve, the savannah.
This is what Daddy's going to see for real.
That's right, my friends. The Serengeti grasslands stretch for hundreds and hundreds of miles across East Africa. It's the superhighway, if you will, for many millions of migrating animals like white-bearded wildebeest and zebras. It's also home to our more famous residents like lions and elephants. It's all part of the wild Africa that we've been working very hard to protect, conserve, and save. And it looks like we've discovered a herd of sable antelope. You might recognize the sable antelope as the official emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Their bighorns can grow 50 to 60 inches in length, and they oftentimes use them in displays of courtship and dominance. The antelope walking up the hill there is a water buck. They got that shaggy gray hair. They excrete an oil that covers their fur and protects them when they dive into the water to avoid predators. Just like their name would suggest, the water buck are normally found near aquatic areas. See these big tall cones of earth? Those are termite mounds. Termites will mix together dirt and saliva, then they'll bake in the hot sun, get so hard that elephants will use them as scratching posts. They'll rub up and down against them until they wear them down into small mounds. That's when the antelope will come by. They'll stand on top of those mounds and use them as lookout posts to try and spot lions and other predators might be hiding in the tall grass. See, the look of the beautiful savanna landscape was pretty much created by the animals that live here. For example, the elephants are like the big bulldozers pushing down these trees because they love to eat that tasty bark and that'll let the grasses spread. The giraffe are like pruning shears, eating the leaves off the trees, allowing more sunlight to shine in. A large antelope and a zebra mow down the grasses so that the new shoots can pop up.
Another hungry giraffe.
Nibblers like warthogs and gazelles will come along and trim around the edges. In a balanced natural system, there's enough food for everybody. On the island of palm trees here, there's some Ann Coley cattle. The big horns on the Ann Coley cattle can grow 5 to 6 feet in length and nearly 20 inches in circumference at the base. Giraffes are the tallest mammals on the planet. They're so tall, in fact, that when the babies are first born, if you were standing on the ground, you'd probably look them right in the eye. That little baby giraffe there is about 10 months old. He's a Maasai giraffe. Maasai giraffe are recognizable because their spot pattern has a jaggedy
You see him,
edge.
Kyle? There's one behind you.
Giraffes normally spend about 16 hours a day munching away on food. That's how they maintain that 2,500-pound body of theirs. But it looks like the landscape's beginning to change. I see some trees that have been pushed down and knocked over and limbs broken off. That means we're about to enter elephant country. But our journey is about to let us pass by Monkey Point. Monkey Point is home to a troop of mandrill monkeys. Mandrills are Africa's largest monkey. The big males weigh in at about 100 pounds, and they're easily recognizable by their colorful blue and red faces.
See him? It's like Rafiki.
As we continue on our journey, though, we're going to keep a lookout for even more elephants. Unfortunately, we've been seeing less and less elephants these days. The elephant population has been declining due to a loss of natural habitat. Miners have been coming into the area and drilling for a rare ore known as coltan. Coltan is that mineral that's found in your laptops and your cell phones, but by simply recycling your electronic devices, you can help protect these beautiful creatures and save the elephants. Elephants live in a matriarchal society, and they are wonderfully social creatures. They have moods, sympathies, and emotions. Well, it's another rickety old bridge. Maybe we better just hang on to the kids and cross those fingers just in case. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Did somebody forget to cross their fingers? Well, Hakuna Matata, no worries. We made it, my friends, but that could have been a close one. Footprints and cuss marks means the elephants have been through here. They dig out that clay and they eat it for the beneficial minerals that it provides to their diet. A fully mature male elephant weighing in at about 12,000 pounds will need close to 300 pounds worth of vegetation per day, part of which is that clay because it's chock full of nutrients, minerals, and vitamins. Well, let's see if we can get a little music on the radio.
See him, Kyle?
Now the white rhinoceros get their name from the Afrikaans word "wide," which means wide, in reference to their big broad lips and wide jaw. And the white rhinoceros have small eyes and weak vision, which unfortunately can make them a pretty easy target for poachers. Poachers have been getting ever more sophisticated equipment. With the high value that's placed on those horns on the black market, it's getting tougher and tougher to protect these beautiful creatures and harder to stop the poachers.
Tyler, did you get the picture?
Cheetahs are the fastest land mammals in Africa. They can run at speeds of about 60 miles an hour when chasing their prey. They're mostly daytime hunters, so they use their sense of sight rather than smell. And cheetahs are built for speed. They have that slender body and a 3-foot long tail that they use for balance, and their claws are always extended so they can turn on a dime when chasing their prey. Just up ahead, there's some big tall rocks, those Kokopi rocks. That big island of rocks juts out of the ground, creating a vantage point where big cats like to hang out and survey the savannah. Big cats like the lions.
There he is, look.
He's asleep, let him stay there.
Boy, lucky day today. Sometimes you see nothing.
Up on the bluff, there's some antelope. Those are Bontebok. Their chestnut-colored coat gets a purplish gloss to it when they eat a lot of copper. Lions are the only big cats that live and hunt and work together cooperatively in what is known as prides. Contrary to popular belief, it's the females of the prides that do most of the hunting, while the males stay back and protect the Kopis. Oh, look, there's some Grant zebras. Grant zebras are actually black animals with white stripes. How can you tell? Well, from the color of the skin on their nose. And each zebra has its own unique and individual pattern, just like our own fingerprints, two are the same. And a zebra's best defense against predators is a powerful kick. It's so powerful, in fact, that they can break the jaw of a lion just like that. And coming up, there's some big, huge burrows, probably made by Africa's largest burrowing mammal, the warthog. Look right in the middle of our viewing area at the base of the tree. You can see a little warthog laying down, taking a little warthog nap, dreaming about little warthogs. And down in the dirt, there's a small nest of ostrich eggs. It's not uncommon for the ostrich to lay their eggs out in the open like that. After all, those eggs have a pretty tough shell on them. They have to. Mom weighs nearly 300 pounds. So I guess it's a good thing that bird cannot fly. addition to the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, Magadi Glen. Magadi is a Swahili word. It means soda. And at first I thought it meant like soda pop, but it actually refers to the calcium and lime deposits in this area. See, the land here at Magadi Glen was donated by the local farmers so that the Harambe Wildlife Reserve would have extra room to reintroduce rare and endangered species back into their natural habitat. Animals like the adax. The adax have these beautiful curly spiral horns that can grow to a length of about 3 feet. And the white birds here are yellow-billed storks. They like to eat frogs, snakes, fish, and even other small birds.
Frogs
And here's some geysers bubbling and gurgling and squirting and spraying out of the ground. Geysers that are formed by plates under the Earth's surface that shift, allowing hot water and steam to escape. And you know who we don't want to escape? The poachers. That's why the Harambe Wildlife Reserve has been working very closely with locals that live in and around the area and alternatives to poaching. In the end, it is the goal of conservation to balance the needs of animals and humans along with their own environment. That way, everybody wins. Well, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today here at Kilimanjaro Safaris as we traveled on board Simba 1 across the Harambe Wildlife Reserve on our photo adventure in search of wild African animals. And if there's more African animals that you're hoping to see, may I suggest the Pengani Forest Exploration Trail. Head on down Pengani Trail. That's where you're going to spot your black and white colobus monkeys, meerkats, western lowland gorillas, and so many, many more animals. It's the adventure of a lifetime that's sure not to be missed.